So we
Topic.
got our salt box topic of the week.
Yes, ma'am.
We are in February,
Yes.
9 days in, and something that's approaching very quickly for these homeowners is homestead exemption.
Correct.
So
In
not
Florida.
every state has this. Florida is one of them that does, and in order to qualify, you need to live here for more than 6 months, maybe 6 months and 1 day of the year.
It counts.
Yes. And what that does is it secures your property taxes from moving up at a rapid pace because maybe your neighbors or whoever have moved and the area has been reassessed. So March 1st is that deadline. And that's on the ballot this year.
Yeah.
As there's a big push to remove those homestead property, or to, I guess, not necessarily remove homestead, but to eliminate property taxes.
Yeah. So the homestead exemptions is something interesting because I don't remember this being the case in Missouri.
Yeah, I don't think it was where I grew up either.
Yeah. Forgive me if I'm completely
I don't think
mistaken.
we,
And apparently
didn't know what it
lived
was
my
till I
life
moved
as
in
an
here.
adult in a state where I have no idea what I paid. Whatever.
Exactly.
The point is that here in Florida, when we were going through our real estate, course, or you purchase property, you figure out too that the assessed value of your property that you pay taxes on, which might not be the $1 million price tag, obviously, that you paid for it, but it'll be assessed accordingly. And there's a scale in which it can be, reassessed and kind of the increment measures. Like Stephanie's talking about, though, it can help control it or put a governor essentially on it to make sure that it doesn't exceed exponentially within a short amount of time.
It can only go up 3%. Like there's a cap.
Exactly. There's a cap per year in which you can gradually step up as your property appreciates in value, which is the whole goal of real estate, right?
Right.
Immediately, though, it knocks 50 grand off of the assessed value price of your property. So let's say you're paying taxes at about 650, 50 grand off, you're paying taxes against a property assessed at 600,000.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there's a lot of other exemptions that you can qualify for in the state of Florida, limited to, but not, whether or not you're a widow, whether or not you're a veteran, whether or not you're a disabled veteran, whether or not, the list goes on and on. But the important thing is that if you have purchased property in Florida within the last year, or your living situation has changed where you've owned the property perhaps for a number of years, but this is the first year that you're going to actually be living here full time,
or
like Stephanie said, 6 months plus a day, file, because the cutoff is again when? March?
Yeah, March 1st.
March 1st.
Yeah, March 1st.
So what we have on the docket for the Florida legislation is that, they're trying to talk about any properties that are homesteaded to protect the homeowner. They want to do away with property taxes.
Yeah. Which obviously there's a lot of, well, how are we going to pay for a lot of other things, right? Like, so it's almost got to be two bills at the same time. So it most likely, obviously Homestead pays for some of the local government things, right? Like municipalities that we have,
right.
Police officers, just keeps going, all of the public things that we all.
Now, what do you think the likelihood is that maybe the deduction amount will be increased versus the doing away with? Because my thought would be,
I mean, it's got to get 60% of a vote, right? And this isn't the first year that this is coming. True. This isn't like a new bill that they've never tried before. The last time it was like 59.5 or something that it didn't pass with. So a lot of these
reminds me of the legalizing
marijuana bill. Yeah, that's exactly it. So a lot of those bills that are just like that, where they've got to be 60%.
That's not a super majority, sweetheart.
Yeah, it's not a majority. It's got to be, for whatever reason, Florida a long time ago set that up so that it's 60% and not majority.
If you're going to contradict it, you have to really mean it. No.
Yeah, I know. Probably just to create, room for error, right? Like, or whatever it might be, that 60% is a pretty solid.
Well, we all know how good Florida is at recounts.
Yeah, that's right. We've eliminated those.
Probably something left over from the hanging Chad days. That's exactly what I was.
That's right. The hanging Chad days that really put Florida on the map.
Right,
That's right. I
exactly.
wasn't living here then,
Oh my
but
god,
yeah, so
Jeb.
and
Jeb.
it's funny when you go to buy a home, one of the things that I'll look at to educate my buyers is
Right,
like it has this home had homestead exemption and for how long, because their rate has, as we said earlier, has only gone up 3% or a very small amount over the course. And so you and we are it's an interesting thing because our taxes are paid in rears here, so you don't
right,
prepay your taxes,
right.
you back pay essentially your taxes. And
Or what
so
you
it
own.
takes a while for, if you buy in August, it takes a while for you to feel
Does.
that. I mean, I remember my parents bought in September and like of, let's just say 2021, I think that's when it was. I might be off a year. And then they did not feel it until November when tax bills are sent out to
Right.
22. So over a year, and they had bought something off of a homestead,
Mm,
so their home's taxes went up 6 grand.
right. Yeah. That's the state coming in being like, now's our chance. And
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just bump it when they can. And
yes,
it's not a it's not there's not a no rhyme or reason, I
yeah,
guess. It's not like they took our jobs, like I
yeah,
said, and they're just coming in like, ha.
yeah,
There's a reason, and that's because it had been safeguarded for that particular property
yes.
owner. But in reality, this property is different than 1987.
That's right. it is a little bit different, and
Just a
you know,
smidge,
yeah, and I
probably.
mean the cost of living. You think sometimes cost
Like
of living goes
you
up
and I both
3%.
know in
Minimum is
1987,
3.
yeah, 1987, they paid $87,000 for that 1959 single family block home in a non flood zone in Seminole. And you and I both know what that house is worth now.
Oh yeah, and gas was less than $2, if not a dollar at that point, right? So
Well, it was past the 70s, right, with the crisis. So, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I mean, I remember filling up at the pump when I was in high school, and it was like a little, like $1.50.
Oh, I know. I remember the first time I actually had to pay over $1.50. I think it
Yeah,
was probably in
yeah,
2002,
yeah. And not that
2.
it's grown that much, but that just the whole point of everything, right? Of like, if you only increase it 3%, the world doesn't only increase at 3%. We see
No.
inflation as we're living in it right now
But
for
see, this is consumer protection.
it
Even though it
is,
might seem as though you're getting
and
caught, quote unquote,
privilege.
holding the bill, right? But
And privilege for
essentially,
living here. I mean, why would you, if you live here and you spend all your, if you spend, not only do you live here, you work here, you spend all of your money here,
sure,
whether it's grocery stores, gas, um, going out to eat, like all of you go to the mall, all
Duke
of those things,
Electric. Yeah.
little league programs, all, what did you say?
I pay Duke Electric. No, I was kidding.
Right. All of those things, like, why would you not get a benefit from that versus an investor that owns the property and
Correct.
doesn't even live here? So you should. I mean, Homestead is it's a smart thing. It's a good thing, but it is on the ballot. And for
Yes.
November, I think it's going to be a tough bill to pass, but it'll probably just be raised. The exemption will be raised monetarily so that it takes off a little bit more. But nonetheless, March 1st, people, March 1st. It's just that
Right.
easy. There's actually it's super easy to do it online. We'll include the
You
link. I can include the
what?
link in our, and because it's just actually that easy. I mean, obviously you have to have the proper identification to do it. You can't say, "Oh, here's my New York license," and then
No.
yeah, I mean,
No, and if you have
we
questions
got
too,
some
and you do live
people
in the
here.
state of Florida, you can
Yeah,
always feel free to reach out to us on the
yeah,
social networks or wherever you are watching this from or listening.
yes,
But it's pretty simple. If you own property in the state of Florida, you figure out what county that property is in.
yeah,
All you have to do is Google that county's property appraiser's website, and they
yes,
will have much more detailed information for you on who to talk to about that stuff. If you also need help, possibly, with a real estate attorney, let us know, to
hmm,
see if there's any further discussions that need to be
yeah.
taken from there. If you own the property, let's say, regardless in a trust or whatever it might be, it's,
And there's some on the website. It'll give you calculations. So if you're thinking
yeah,
about, you know, deciding to purchase something and you're like, oh, I just don't know, we can point you in the right direction as to whether or not
Now, I
home is
will say
officially
though
ready.
that Pinellas County Property Appraiser's Office, which shout out to Mike Twitty, your website is amazing.
Yeah,
You seem like a pretty cool guy. I they do have the tax estimator calculator.
yeah,
However, given the fact that our company is statewide, I work with a lot of agents that are outside of our area, and that is not that
yeah.
is
It's not as
not
easy.
on every county
Yeah,
appraiser's office website. Um, if it's not, then you can simply call and talk to somebody. I
yes.
hate it's
Title
what's that
company,
Sweet
mortgage.
Home Alabama where it's like they're in the bank and then she's like, "Oh, y'all don't have an ATM," and it's like, "Oh, Tim doesn't want to put one in on account. You lose the touch with the customers." I'm just thinking, you really want people calling you for their tax appraising estimate, Paula? Oh, I'm sorry. There's Paula again. Tracy.
Someone.
I gotta take her out of my mind. I love you. You're a nice lady. I'm sorry. I really am.
So, but anyway, so look that up,
So
people. Don't
yeah.
miss out.
And
March 1st.
actually,
Hard stop.
Friday is the 27th of February. So there are 28 days this year, which means that Friday the 27th is the last day, people, to get it in before
That's
March 1st.
true. That's true.
So don't F
Yeah, that's
around.
true. Yeah,
Save yourself some money.
that's
And if you
right.
have any questions, again, reach out to us. But and it's never a bad idea as life changes. Go see what else you might be exempt for.
That's right. Never know.
You know?
Never know.
I mean, I'm
So
not above clipping coupons. Let's go.
let's
So,
go.
yeah.
That's right. Here we go.
So, yeah, homestead filing, super important. And if you have questions about your own state, respectfully, we can help Nancy Drew for you.